now to go live. Let's just wait started. Okay. Development funds. Average call comes, let's say, minutes before we roll into what we have for today. Our guest is already waiting. Our guest expert is already waiting, and we don't we just wait a little bit more. So by self, um, my colleagues, the industry out there, it's just my own little contribution to supporting non-profit organizations, social enterprises, individuals that are working in the charitable venture. Event callers, thank you for joining us. So this is purely a charitable venture or activity, and I really hope that we're able to provide some answers to the questions that people have. I really hope that we're able to touch on pressing issues, pressing matters. As much as possible, I want to answer questions to your email or to your DM. Please bear with me. Definitely, you're going to get a response very soon. All right, having said that, let me go straight into today's development funds. I've come across a lot of people who keep saying they do not have funds, they cannot access funds. And what of you? How do I access funds? How do I raise funds? I have a new venture, I have a social enterprise. What do I do to be able to, access funds? How do I position myself? A lot of questions. And when I looked within my network, I I saw just a few people that really, really fit into that can really, really trash out this topic of accessing development funds. And that was why we went to very best. Um, she's been my friend of many years, my colleague of many years. And tonight we have the honor of the founder and the CEO of Donors for Africa joining us tonight. Her name is Chidi Sweat, and I'm just going to read her profile quickly while we wait for her to join us on the show tonight. Chidi Sweat is the founder of Donors for Africa Foundation, a grant management organization working actively to provide long-lasting solutions to development challenges on the African continent. Chidi, hello. Thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you can hear me. Okay, so I was just reading your profile. Let me just quickly finish and then we'll come back to you. So Chidi is an international development professional who provides clarity and designs SDG strategies to help governments, philanthropy organizations, non-profits that truncates growth, increases access to funds, and builds sustainable organizations. Chidi Sweat has raised over $750,000 platform in Egypt. In 2018, Chidi pitched our organization's work at the World Bank Youth Summit. In 2014, Chidi was a finalist, Africa's most influential woman in management, business, and public service in the civil society category. In 2014, she was nominated by the Chinese embassy to participate in the 3 weeks cultural exchange program under CAFIU. In 2013, Vital Voice lead fellow in 2013, nominated amongst the 100 unseen women changing the world. In 2011, Moremi Fellow awarded Africa's 25 most outstanding emerging women leader under the Moremi Initiative for Leadership. Chidi continues to work with governments, private, public sector, and non-profit organizations to design long-term solutions that addresses poverty and social injustice in Africa. She's open to collaborations and partnerships. Now, that is about Chide Cotsworth, the person that we have brought to tonight's show. Chide, say hello to us before we talk about Donors for Africa. Yes. Yeah. We have to start from that place. Mm. Thank Thank you, Chidi. Thank you. This means a lot to me, to us. I know you're a very busy person. I can imagine what sacrifice you had to make to be with us tonight. I promise you to be worth every bit. But before we go into tonight's question and answers, and of course, the model is for you to you talk about the subject matter. We'll take a few. I'll come in with a few questions, and of course, those joining us on some of the outstanding reasons for bringing you on tonight's show, because you seem to be directly relevant to the topic of tonight, which is accessing development funds. Won't you tell us a little? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. 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 Thanks for that detailed introduction. And I quite agree with you. There seems to be a lot of gap in doors is very critical to bridging that gap. When we can scale up, then we're going to show our competency, and then we'll be able to attract the right attention. All right, so thank you very much for joining us tonight. Now we can go into the meat of today. I sent a post out that says who is coming to. Well, I saw your post that says who is coming, and I then said that people should join us for dinner. So now we're about to serve dinner. Let's go straight into why we are here tonight. What are development funds, and who are those eligible for these funds? What are development funds? Who are those eligible? I want you to come from the angle of both individuals, organizations. Let's just, pour it all out there. People can understand better. Awesome. Awesome. How can we access the money that is available in the sector? So it doesn't matter if you're starting up, you're running a project, you need money to friends, you want to go on a scholarship, if it is in line with the 17 SDGs, right? Where push out there and look for these funds. Okay, so I've heard a lot of people say that you see the advert. Sometimes if you subscribe to certain portals, you get notified, and there's this what will I call it now? There's this claim that they already know who they want to give money to. Like, oh, we're just going to apply, and they already know those they will give it to. So please tell us, is it really difficult to access these funds? What do we need to do to be able to more like access these funds as an individual or as organizations? Mm, 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 wow. Mm, mm. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So if I hear you well, if you want to go fast, go on. And if you want to go far, go with, you know, some people. So it means that belonging to an ecosystem will really, really give you an advantage, either in terms of information or even having shared skills, right? Leaning on other people's support in order to be able to take advantage. Okay, so I also pick from what you said that there can sometimes be a quota system whereby they get to pick from a particular country X number of, and that reminds me of the Google Impact Challenge Fund. They were already clear about how many people, how many organizations they wanted to pick from each country, 12 per country, and then nothing more than 12. Okay, thank you for explaining that. So, people, you got that from Chidi Code Sweats that they do not have preference for anyone. They just want to see that you are eligible. And trust me, the competition is massive, very, very massive. So, that takes me to another question, Chidi. How long does it take for one? It's a weird question, but I'm playing the devil's advocate here. So I have a great idea that I just started. How long will it take for me to be able to access funding of any type out there? Can you please speak to that? How long? Mm, 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 mm.